Welcome to this video. In today's video, I'd like to show a set of extensions that I actually use to help me become more productive in my day-to-day development. So these extensions, I know most of them, or pretty much all of them, I'd say, are available on different browsers, but I am using Brave, the Brave browser, this is the icon for it, which is similar to Chrome, and anything that you can install on Chrome can be installed here. So basically it uses the Chrome market to install extensions and themes and so on. And so the first extension I'd like to go over is called ColorZilla. And this is a straight up color picker. This helps me a lot when I see a color and I would like to get the or copy it to my clipboard and straight away, instead of opening the developer tools and then inspecting the element and then trying to find it. I would just click on it and pick color from the page, and as you can see, the panel that appears here, it gives us information about the element we're hovering over, and it gives you the color. And if I was to click on it, the color gets copied to my clipboard. As you can see, this color is copied. It provides other things that we could do and use, such as history, the colors that we picked over time. It has a gradient generator, palette browser, and other useful things that can be used. The next extension, which is one of my favorite, is called Web Developer. And this has a lot of different tools that we can use, such as I could disable JavaScript directly from this theme. I could disable plugins. I could disable pop-ups, things like that. Cookies, I could delete cookie, add cookie, view cookie. I could do things related to CSS. I could do form stuff. I could mess around with the images. There's some other stuff here that can be used. Basically just information, as you can tell from the actual tab. And the most important ones for me are the option to clear the cache and clear history, and other stuff that can also be used to your advantage. This is one, it contains so many tools that you don't need different extensions to actually perform a single command or a single thing. Instead, you just install it and you have a bunch of different options in it. Now the next one, which I found a couple of days ago, actually a couple of weeks ago, my bad, and it's really, really good and I really love it. It's called VisBug. This is how it's written. And this extension is really good extension for designers and developers, because it gives you a lot of things to visually see how elements are aligned, to directly change things of the elements, such as styles, positioning of elements directly from within the page. So you don't have to open up your developer tools and inspect the elements and perform different options that way. Instead, you click on it, it opens up this panel here to the left side, and the first option is called Guides. Basically, it provides you direction of how the elements are shown. So if I was to click on this element, and I move my mouse cursor to this element, it shows me the distance between these elements. It could also show me, how it could tell me if elements are centered or not. So as you can see here, you get the dotted lines, which shows me that the elements are actually aligned. So a lot of the times, if I'm working with CSS, and there are multiple things that are centered differently or centered using different elements, and I'm not sure if they are actually centered or not, I would use this to see if it's centered or not. It's just a visual inspection, basically. Other things it provides are the inspect elements. So if I click it and hover on top of elements, shows me what HTML element this is. So in this case, it tells me this is a div. It tells me the width 796 by 267. That's the height. Remember, the width always comes first. It tells me the font size, the line height, and it gives you all kinds of information when you move it over elements. It's very useful, I think. Now, the next one is accessibility. So when I click this and move over elements, it tells me what kind of accessibility there is and if it passes the accessibility or not. And it tells me the element as well, and if there is an ID in it or other information. The next one is called, so the next one, you can move elements around if you'd like. Basically use the arrow. So you highlight, or you click on the element that you want to move, and you use your arrow, up and down, left or right, to move the elements. So this is if you want to see how things would look if you were to change the layout. The next one, it is for margin. So I click it and I move over the element, any element, and it tells me how much margin there is. This case is telling me that there is 8 pixels of margin on the top, bottom, right, and left. The next one is called padding. And this one as well, very explained. It tells you the padding that this element contains, this element, and so on. And there is the flexbox align, and hue shift, and shadow. So I could change the shadows of elements. I guess mess around with the shadows. I can also move position elements, so similar to one of the options we had earlier, I believe this one. So you can move around an element. How do we move it? Oh yeah, this is by using your mouse. So I could say I want this to be here. So you click on the element, and you click on it. You click and hold, and you drag. Basically, I can change the text size or the font style as well. And the most important ones that I really like, I could edit the text, by the way, directly here. So I could say, I could click on it and then click on the text or the paragraph I want to change. As you can see, it gets modified. And the most important ones that I really like is to change the color and the background. So I could click here, and as you can see, the background or the font color is actually changing. And the next one is the background, I believe. So if I was to click on it and change the color, you can see that the color is changed. And in this way, it's easier to see visually how things are affected. Instead of having to inspect the elements, dig deep down trying to find the color or the background or the font size, you can just install this extension and use one of the tools it provides. Now, the other ones I have are really, not that special. So I do have a clear cache extension. It's just if I want to, do a single click instead of, having to go here and inside here and then clear cache. Sometimes I just want to do it directly. So I would just hit that, and that would clear the cache for me. It's called Clear Cache. Also, I have a dark reader. So this is really useful if I want to go into dark mode. At the moment, I told it to exclude Wikipedia from the dark mode, but by default, if it's on, so by default it's off, but if it's turned on, this is what it would look like. It's very cool, I think, especially if you're working late at night. The brightness of the white backgrounds is really a bad thing for your eyes. And you'll see, especially during winter time when the day is very short and it gets darker really quickly. And if I want to exclude a link or a page, then I just hit this and it gets excluded. There's also other filters and stuff that we can apply. You can change how dark you want dark mode to be. You can change how light mode is to be, and so on. And that's it pretty much. I just wanted to share basically the main ones, which is these three, and tell you that they're very good in helping you stay productive and finish your tasks very, very fast. So I hope you like this video, and if you haven't subscribed and liked this video, please do, as I'm only beginning and hopefully I'll have better content in the near future. Thanks for watching.